Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Supernatural, episode 1405, titled Nightmare Logic, which premiered Thursday, November 8th, 2018 on the CW. So I am recording roughly 2 hours after the episode is aired, so huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. Other video reminders are up on screen, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes, so let's start the clock, and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, it's shortly after the events of 1404, as Dean refers to his recent fight with Hatchet Man, aka David Yeager, in the Halloween episode. So maybe less than a week, maybe. So there's that. Huge episode reminder is that we get the return of the Jinn/Genie. I guess it's Genie episode number 4. First one being in episode 220, then 601, then 820, if I'm correct. So there's that. But the huge episode breakdown is pretty much only the major storyline was dealing with the Genie or the Jinn storyline, and that's pretty much trying to rescue Maggie. So Maggie, if you remember correctly, is the apocalypse survivor that was killed by Lucifer and then resurrected by Lucifer by Jack's insistence. And so the episode starts off with her going on her solo hunt, which she believes is a ghoul hunt, but then it goes sideways, which leads to Sam, Dean, Mary, and Bobby going to try to figure out what happened to her and try to save her before it's too late. Turns out the ghoul hunt was a Jinn hunt. So there's that. And it was a Jinn that was pretty much recruited by Michael to set a trap for hunters. Pretty much hunker down low and try to kill as many hunters as you can. So there's that. Last thing in the episode shows Sam promising Dean that they will find a way to kill Michael and stop him. So there's that. Tidbit-wise, so let's move on to that very quickly. We do get 2 one-sided phone calls. One with Garth, done by Dean, and then one by Sam to Donna, Hanscom. So I wish we could have seen those, but we do get to hear their names in the episode. Also, we found out in this episode that Apocalypse Bobby was a former soldier, as well as he had a son named Daniel. And he was a grown son who ended up dying by getting his eyes, eyes burned out by like the angels and stuff, like Pamela Barnes in season 4, and then all the other angel kills later on. But we do find out from Bobby that he is not sure what happened to Daniel during the Angel War. But we do get a little bit of an idea of how the Angel War started, or at least for Bobby, since as a former soldier, he was recruited to lead his own platoon, and then which included his son, and then they got separated during the war and stuff. And to the point that we found out that Bobby didn't really believe that he would survive the Angel War, and now that he has, he's taken on hunting as kind of like it all ends the same type of thing, as he says. So there's that. Okay. Also, we see the Jinn seeming to be freaked out when he peeked into Dean's fears, though we don't get to know what exactly those fears are. Also, we see inklings of a potential relationship between Mary and Apocalypse Bobby. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, on the one hand, it's great for them to see happy, but on the other hand, it's kind of a little weird because I'm still used to seeing like our Bobby and stuff, right? So I don't know. Don't know how Sam and Dean feel about that. Although it seems like Sam's encouraging towards it, so I'll leave it at that. But also, we don't see Jack and Castiel in this episode, but they are mentioned to still be on a hunt together. So there's that. Now, end tally or death tally. I pretty much, I guess you could say it was the Jinn or the Genie. He was shot and bashed in the head by Dean. I guess you can kind of say the previous hunters that the Jinn killed were technically part of the list too. But they were already dead in the episode, so I don't know if I'd count that or not, but anyways, there's that. But Maggie is rescued, I will say that. And so yeah. But anyways, moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I will have to say the fact that it was the Jinn, the Genie, that kind of creature, the fact that it was a creature that we've seen before. I wasn't expecting it because the whole disintegrating of the bodies every time they try to kill the creature, it threw me off. I mean, at first we thought it was ghouls, so when it was killed, it just disintegrated into dust. That was a little confusing. Then we thought it was vampires, and the same thing happened. So it's like, wait, what? And then it was the death of and then it took the form of Daniel, Bobby's son, and he had his eyes scorched out. So it's like it couldn't be a ghoul because Daniel never came over to this earth, and the ghouls usually feed on people and take their form, right? So it's like, but then he disintegrated into dust when Bobby stabbed him. So it's like, what the hell is going on? To have these creatures manifest in reality as opposed to in the mind, because as you know, the genies grant your wish, but it's really putting your mind into an alternate reality while your body is being drained of its blood for it to feed on. So we've seen that happen in the previous 3 cases. 802 specifically dealt with fear jinns or genies. I'm just going to call them genies because I don't know if I'm saying the actual word right, but like, so the whole disintegration part of these creatures really threw me off. And I guess it wasn't until Dean made the connection and it showed flashbacks, that's where it kind of was like, oh yeah, we have seen this before. So that was a good shocking moment because it was a new twist on an older style case, I guess you could say. Plus also the fact that the 4 previous cases, they're all different versions of the jinn, or we've seen them at different versions. The first one, when we see, it's happening the same way that's happened with Maggie. They got attacked, and then they're put under, and then they're being drained of their blood, right? The second time we see in 601, it's pretty much the jinn's touch is what starts poisoning their mind, and they start going under and seizing. That was a different version that we saw, and it was a little more manipulated because that was during the time of when the mother of monsters was topside and kind of changing her creatures and stuff. And then 820 dealt more with like the fear, the jinn feeding directly off of the fear of their victims, and then feeding off of that, which was different when Charlie was stuck in her continuous looped fear in her mind and such. And then now we got this version. So it was very interesting where it had the disintegrating manifestations in the real world as opposed to in like their altered version to fears in their mind, if that makes sense. I'm sorry if I'm still rambling, and I'm still on most shocking moments still. So let's move on to top 3 favorite moments. Huge favorite was the fact that we got to see a little bit more of Sam's hunting operations with the apocalypse survivors. We got to see that he's giving research lessons. We got to see that he's established check-ins for all hunters, even saying that he had 16 active cases with hunters out there and he needed them to all check in, which paid off because when Maggie didn't check in, they knew that something was wrong immediately. And then also it's brought on the fact that Sam has all these hunters wearing body cams, so if they didn't check in, he just goes back to the body cam because they are uploaded automatically to their server to see, I guess, to give you first clues as to where to look next to try to find them before it's too late, which I thought was like a brilliant setup, to be honest. So I really like how Sam's kind of had things organized in the 3 weeks, right? So it's very impressive. Plus also he's trying to teach these apocalypse survivors, because all they know is about surviving a war. They don't know how to truly hunt, so they need the research, they need to know about lore, they need to know about weapons, they need to know about all these specific things it takes to be a hunter. So it's just really great to see a little bit of a breakdown and kind of see that in action. I really appreciate that. It just shows how much more impressive this operation is. Like, Sam is really trying to put the meta letters back on the map type of thing. So there's that. Another favorite I had was the fact that Dean is the one that defeated the jinn. I mean, and he did it without using the usual method to do so, which is, I think it was a silver dagger dipped in lamb's blood. But the fact that he didn't kill the jinn that way has me a little worried of the fact that, is the jinn really dead? But he did really bash his head in really hard with like this bronze statue, and then he also shot him repeatedly. So on the one hand, I don't want to say he's dead, but on the other hand, because it wasn't killed the usual way, I'm a little worried. But it was just interesting that it was Dean once again. I mean, all the jinn cases usually are connected with Dean. Dean's either the victim, Dean's either tied into the confrontation with the genie. So it it just seemed only fitting that it was only Dean by himself in this. Plus, he also found out a little bit more information about how, like, the Jinn was recruited by Michael and stuff. So anyways, also, which leads to the fact that my other favorite was the fact that we got to see flashbacks of episode 220 when Dean was a victim to the Jinn for the first time, when he was brought into the altered world of what if Mary never died and he got to live this normal life. So I really appreciate that. Well, I really appreciate that callback to 12 years ago. I mean, that was pretty cool. So there is that, and as well as the timer. So moving on to most top 3 peeved moments. They're small ones, but I was a little unnerved that for her first hunt, why was Maggie going on it without a partner? Why would you go on your first hunt without a buddy to watch your back? I mean, that pissed me off there. Because, I mean, like, come on, that's like a rookie move. You don't go into something, it's like, yeah, you can claim that you're ready, but, like, for something dangerous like this, you want someone with you to watch your back. I mean, it doesn't have to do with the fact that this is your first hunt. It could both be your first hunt. At least you have someone to watch your back, right? So that was a peeve there. Another peeve was the fact that I only got to hear names of Donna and Garth. I don't get to see or hear their voices or see their faces. I miss them. We didn't see Donna this season, and we haven't seen Garth since season 12. Or not 12, since season 9, but we haven't heard about Garth since season 12, when the British Men of Letters had their files on him, and they were hunting him down. So I missed those two. So I really want to see Garth again. It's been a long time. But at least we got some name drops of them there. And they're still in the hunting business. At least we know they're still alive. I'll leave it at that. What will I remember most when I look back on this episode? Dean versus the Jinn, take 3. Pretty much. Because the 820 one was technically killed by Charlie, I believe. So there's that. Moving on to random questions, though, very quickly. First one, will Bobby and Mary be gone for long? Because they did kind of take a break for Bobby to heal up at Donna's cabin, I believe. So there's that. Second question, what fears did the Jinn see when he dived into Dean's head? Because his reaction made it seem like it was something he was not expecting. Or maybe he found something he wasn't supposed to. So that's a question there. Also, I have another question because it's always in the back of my head. But what year is Supernatural supposed to be taking place in? Because technically it would make sense if we have the season it happens in taking place in the year it happens. So right now it would make sense that we are in 2018 for Sam and Dean. But then you also have to remember the fact that there was a 1-year time jump between season 5 and season 6. There's also another 1-year time jump between season 7 and season 8. So technically, we should be in the year 2020 for the brothers, right? So it's like, is that the case? Or are we going to forget those 2 years of time jumps and just go back to 2018? So that's my question there. It's always been one that's in the back of my mind, especially when I'm trying to write fan fiction stories and I'm trying to figure, okay, well, how does the timelines work, especially if I'm trying to match it up with another show. It's like, I need dates, and then it's like, but then there's these 2 missing years when it's technically, it's like, whoa, okay. But anyways, that's it for questions. Let's move on to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 1406, it looks like Apocalypse Charlie is back, and she is ready to hunt with the Winchesters. It looks like mainly with Sam she's sharing scenes with, but there's that. The synopsis for the episode reads that Sam and Charlie team up to get to the bottom of a string of random disappearances. Meanwhile, Jack believes that he has found a case and convinces Dean to partner up with him on the hunt. So it looks like we might actually get 2 separate cases in this episode, which is pretty cool. And I also appreciate the fact that in this synopsis, I have no idea what I'm dealing with. I have no idea what the case is going to be. I have an idea of which characters we're going to see, but that's pretty much it, which I totally appreciate because I want to still be surprised in what the case is going to be. So I'll leave it at that. What did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, theories, and predictions about what you think will happen next. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. Link for that is down below. I reblog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. Go check that out. I try to update as best as I can. I'm probably a little behind, but please keep that in mind. Also, WordPress link is down below. Anything I post online is connected to my WordPress account. It's more detailed, it's more organized, but it's still a work in progress as well. So be kind to me on that. Also, if you want a detailed recap of the episode, a play-by-play, if you will, check out my Livejournal entry. The link for that is down below. It helps me keep things in order for certain details and stuff. If it helps you out, fantastic. Been doing it since, season 6, I believe. But the link for that is down below. I'll try to post that when it's all formatted and everything, but it includes in-moment thoughts, in-moment questions, reaction type comments and stuff. So check that out if you want something like that. Definitely helps until I find transcripts for the episodes. It usually takes months before those get posted online. So there's that. That's pretty much everything. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to see what they say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.